less than an hour. At Gympie, the Mary River reached 19.3 metres overnight, roughly the height of a 5-storey office building. The Bruce Highway is cut off at both the north and south ends of the town. This morning, authorities were saying southeast Queensland would see its highest flood levels since the Big Wet of 1974. Those floods wrecked 6,000 homes, claimed 14 lives and created a 200-kilometre inland sea. Tonight, Queenslanders have been warned to brace for even worse. Marcus Rubenstein, World News Australia.
Well, as the search and rescue operation continues, the Australian Defence Force is deploying 2 additional Black Hawk helicopters and 4 Kiowa light choppers to the Amberley Air Force Base. Defence Minister Stephen Smith says they should be available by tomorrow morning, building the number of ADF aircraft in the operation to 15, but says continuing heavy rain remains a problem.
Can I underline that weather conditions and flying conditions are very difficult? And at all times, of course, safety will determine the helicopter assets made available for the search and rescue effort. And there is some suggestion to me that flying conditions may well deteriorate. So we are literally in the hands of adverse weather conditions so far as effectiveness of the effort is concerned.
The next major centre in line for inundation is the city of Ipswish, about 40 kilometres southwest of Brisbane. Premier Anna Bligh says the situation there is very serious, and this map shows you why. The fast-rising Bremer River loops through the city, which has a population of more than 160,000, before feeding into the Brisbane River. By midnight tonight, the Bremer River, which will reach the 18 to 19 metre mark, peaking sometime tomorrow at around 21 to 22 metres. By comparison, the 1974 peak was 20.6 metres. And joining us now on the line is Bridget McLean. She is the manager at the Coronation Hotel in Ipswich. Bridget, we've seen the pictures of the Toowoomba devastation there. How concerned are you, and what's the feeling among the community?
Hi there. Well, with the pictures from Toowoomba, it is very concerning for us. Hopefully we don't have to put ourselves in the situation that they unfortunately had. I've had a lot of people come into the pub looking for accommodation all around the area here, which are already being flooded out, and just generally being concerned about their property.
So when you look out the window right now, what's the weather conditions like? And what about those water levels? What does it look like? Yeah,
the weather condition, it's settled at the moment. We haven't had any heavy rain for about an hour. Looking down our street, we have one of the streets flooded off, which is slowly getting higher. And just throughout the area, down the main bridge that leads out to Amberley is fully under, looking like flooding the other pub down the road there.
OK. Bridget McLean, appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you.
And Anna Bligh. Well, she says Brisbane, like Ipswich, is facing its toughest test in 35 years. SBS reporter Kathy Novak is on the banks of the Brisbane River.
Well, Brisbane is bracing for the worst tonight. It's activated its emergency disaster plan, and people have just been evacuating the city all day, heading for higher ground, with more than 6,000 properties expected to be inundated. The river has already breached its banks. It's threatening 30 suburbs, and worse conditions are expected for tomorrow.
The situation in Brisbane is moving as fast as the floodwaters. Tonight, Brisbane's Lord Mayor was pulling no punches.
Expect that a wall of water is going to come down the Brisbane River between now and probably starting late tomorrow evening.
Today, there were evacuations from CBD areas and firms in Fortitude Valley, while residents of the inner city suburb of West End and low-lying Caboolture and Strathpine were told to move to higher ground.
And I'm just about to go around the back and lift everything up that I can.
Go and look what you can do right now this evening to evacuate. Go and stay with friends and relatives. Remove vital personal possessions to a place of safety.
Further pushing up the flooded Brisbane River were inflows from the Wivenhoe Dam. It was built to protect the city after the 1974 floods, but is now full, forcing controlled releases. Tonight, the rain has begun easing through southeastern Queensland, with hopes it'll clear by late tomorrow morning. But that doesn't change the flood forecasts. The Brisbane River still expected to peak beyond the 5.45 metres seen in 74.
Panic mode. Factory going underwater, so we need to get some sand.
The forecasts for properties affected seems to have been updated from 6,000 earlier.
We would expect to see somewhere above 9,000 properties affected significantly by this water level, and more than 30,000 other properties having some impact.
Traffic streamed out of the capital and public transport was badly hit, with train services cut north and west of Brisbane. And with at least 4 yachts breaking free from their moorings and posing a hazard, authorities are warning locals to stay off the Brisbane River itself. Meanwhile, the Weather Bureau does admit that its systems proved inadequate for yesterday's super rainstorm in Toowoomba.
The computer models that we use aren't run at a high enough resolution to pick up these sort of very small-scale weather features.
But reflection is for another time. Raina Sarampait, World News, Australia.
And Kathy, what are the locals doing tonight?
Oh, Ricardo, a small number of them are actually here where I'm standing. I'm on the banks of the Brisbane River, as you mentioned, and I don't know if you can see, but it's overflowing and flowing pretty quickly. A number of pontoons and boats have been seen just washing by, and that's a spectacle that many people haven't seen in their lives, so they're soaking it in. But for the most part, most of the people here are just trying to get out of the city, get home if they can, get somewhere safe, because they're being warned that the worst is still to come. They've been around the CBD trying to stock up on essential supplies, on food, and a lot of people were sent home early from work. Major shopping centres in the CBD have been evacuated. No one's being forced from their homes at this stage, but authorities are still reserving the right to do that if necessary. As we know, this is still going to continue in the next couple of days, and we may see some forced evacuations coming up.
Kathy Novak in Brisbane, thank you. Queensland Emergency Services say they are equipped to deal with the flood crisis, but they needn't feel alone. Prime Minister Julia Gillard told SBS Tonight that help had been offered by a number of countries and that the offers would be taken up as needed.
We've taken up the offer from New Zealand of personnel, and indeed those personnel are on the ground in Queensland now, and we do very much thank the people of New Zealand for sending a team to help. We have an offer from Singapore to use some of their helicopters, and we are monitoring whether or not we will action that and use that capability. And then we've had offers from around the world, from the United States, the United Nations, the EU, China, Indonesia, East Timor, so many places, and we will action those offers if we need capabilities from them.
And a telephone hotline has been set up for people seeking information about friends and family. It's 1300 993 191. That's 1300 993 191. And you can go to our website to find out how you can help the thousands of people affected by the Queensland floods. Well, the New South Wales North Coast continues to suffer the effects of those heavy rains too. More than 4,000 people have been cut off by floodwaters as major roads remain underwater. The Clarence River near Grafton is expected to inundate low-lying areas after peaking at 7 metres. Properties in nearby Tenterfield are tipped to be isolated for the next month, while Bellingen is bracing itself for severe flooding later tonight. And while Eastern Australia struggles to cope with floods in the west, 150 firefighters have been battling a blaze around Lake Clinton, south of Perth. At least 4 houses have been destroyed by the fire, believed to be deliberately lit. Farm sheds, livestock and vehicles have also been destroyed. Around 200 residents fled their homes, and some will not be allowed to be returned until tomorrow.